Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. Been a good amount of time. I've got a vinyl and music update going on right now, so just jump into it. When I remember the prices, I'll let you know what I paid. But yeah, first up, we got Molly Hatchet with Beating the Odds. I'm really liking Molly Hatchet. Despite what the covers look like, this is Southern rock, and it's awesome Southern rock. But I've never known a band use essentially like heavy metal covers for Southern rock, and it's kind of awesome. This was $5 at that price. You know, you can't go wrong at $5 for Molly Hatchet. Next up, we have Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Survival of the Fittest Live. Ted Nugent's a weird one. I've said before, I think he's as crazy as they come, but he plays a mean guitar. So I can put his crazy aside and just enjoy his music. Yeah, is what it is. This also was $5. You know, it's is what it is. Next, we have Coheed and Cambria with Vaxis 3, The Father of Make Believe, 3 LP set. I think it's 3 LPs. Is it? Or is it 1 LP? 3? Hold on. I need to check. 2 LPs. Okay, and they're both on this blue. Yeah. These covers open up really like huge, and as a result, you know, you never really know how many are in there. I haven't listened to this yet. I've really enjoyed the first 2 Vaxis albums, so I'm looking forward to listening to 3. That's probably an upside down. You know, is what it is. Good stuff. This was like $60. You know, it's to be expected. Coheed and Cambria is never cheap. But interesting thing, I found a copy of this on Amazon. And it was going for $29.99. So I'm like, I jump on that. I get it. It's not this at all. It's some like I don't know, easy listening something or other. I don't know what it was, but I sent that back right away. Yeah, someone put the wrong sticker on it or something. I don't know, but you know, is what it is. It's worth it for that price. This was $12.50. They were having a sale, and it was 80% off all. It was the last Black Friday sale, not Black Friday. Record Store Day, and the record store I was at had a thing 80% off of all older Record Store Day titles. So I got this for $12.50. It's Emperor, Anthems to the Wilkins at Dusk. This is actually that's a made cover because this is actually a picture disc, and you know I'm not the biggest fan of picture discs. You know, I prefer to have like a proper cover, so hence you know I made one, but you know it was $12.50. I'm not leaving Emperor there for $12.50. You're coming home with me, and we're gonna have a great time. Next up, this was like $4. This is weird because this album was actually voted the worst album of all time, and that is Lord Sutch and Heavy Friends. Screamin' Lord Sutch, as he's otherwise known, with Jimmy Page, John Bonham, Jeff Beck, Noel Redding, Nicky Hopkins. This isn't that bad. You know, is it like groundbreaking music, like groundbreaking like 70s music? No. It is what it is. It's like imagine like a garage band from the 70s but just happened to have you know, Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck and John Bonham in it. It's fun. You know, it is what it is. Next, this was a steal. I got this for $10. This is Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest. I actually had to repair this because you probably, I don't know if you can see it there. It doesn't look like there's anything, but if you look closer, you see I've actually printed up all these stickers. stick them over a bunch of stuff which people had written on the back. You know, it was a strange little thing. Someone sent this, I guess, to their girlfriend for like, oh, you will love this or something. I don't know. I covered it all up because I don't care about other people's drama. But Screaming for Vengeance is a classic. Some people say it's overrated. Some people are wrong. This is the greatest Judas Priest album. I don't care what you say. That's the best Judas Priest album. Next, this was $9.99. That's Nazareth Greatest Hits. Interesting story about this. I bought this record before. It's actually right here. And as you can see, audiophile pressing. You know, so it should sound awesome. But this thing has a warp in it. I don't know. Can you see it? I don't know. But it's unplayable. And, you know, I don't want to say I spent a lot of money on this. This particular one I got for about, I don't know, $20 back months ago. But, there's no point in a record that you can't play. It looks cool, but that's about it. So, $9.99 standard version of Nazareth Greatest Hits. It's Nazareth. It's their greatest hits. What else do you need? Great stuff. And last up, I grabbed this for $39.99, and that was a steal. This is Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Probably my second favorite Danzig album. Basically, it goes Danzig, Danzig 3, Danzig 2, and on. But I love Danzig 3. Always was a great album. And that artwork is just gorgeous from the great H.R. Giger. Such a good album. And honestly, that's one of those ones. This is one of those ones that I would say it's underrated, but it's really not. People know how good Danzig 3 is, and it just works. And I just gotta say also, how cool was it when a couple of months back when The Punisher Last Kill came out and they had Danzig's mother playing in the opening. That was just an awesome thing. Great album. Now we're just down to a few CDs. First up, we got Venom Into Oblivion. This is the new Venom album. I'm going to do a slight review of this CD. I love this album. Let me put it this way. When it comes to the first two Venom albums, they are comfort food for me. I can just sit back, relax, and I love it. It's like listening, like it's nostalgia, it's everything. So much so I've fallen asleep listening to the first two Venom albums because of that nostalgia factor. I fell asleep listening to this for the same reason. So this is easily, I think, their best album since probably Resurrection, maybe Metal Black. This is Venom. This is how they should sound. It's phenomenal. Some of the songs on this, I mean, Nevermore. How cool is it to basically take, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and make a song of it. It's just awesome. So good. I love this album. It's easily on the fast track to being my favorite album of the year. Just saying. Next, this one was $9.99. I'd never thought I'd ever find this in a store, but I did. The Queers with Grow Up. Now, is this... This is early Queers. I don't know when this came out. What year does it say? I don't know. It's an older CD. A a lot of the songs on this that are now, when you hear them, like newer versions of them, they're a lot faster. They're a lot like kind of like heavier, if you will. Think of it this way. Think of the Ramones and think of Loco Live, and then think of the first Ramones album and compare the two songs, like the speed they're played and everything. It's the same sort of thing. This is much slower than what they currently do it and how, it sounded more recently. But it's still good. Great stuff. Next is one I've kind of been sleeping on. I've been putting off buying this album. Metallica, 72 Seasons. I'm not the biggest fan of modern Metallica. Is it better than like the Load and Reload and St. Anger stuff? Hell yeah. This is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't expecting much, but I enjoyed what I heard. This is, I think, for me, on par with... I'd put it just below the Black Album. What you got, like, I've said before, with, like, Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct, you could see those fitting in, like, after Justice, but before the Black Album. This feels like something that would have been released, like, the next album after the Black Album. It feels like, not that huge step down that it was for Load. I'm glad I got it. I've, completed the set now. So I've got everything up to date on with Metallica. I wouldn't buy this on vinyl. When it comes to vinyl and Metallica, I have Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Justice, and Garage Days Revisited. I'll pick up the Black Album at some point, but that's where I'm stopping. They went off the rails, and they were off the rails for a long time after that, so just saying. And last up, this isn't really a pickup, it's just something I've done. If you've watched my channel, you've seen this before. This is my Judas Priest box set that I got, bootleg box set. Fun release. But what it did is, it only had certain albums. There were a few missing. So what I've done is I've actually created cover sleeves for the other albums. And let me just think, there's a few more in here somewhere. Yeah, there's one. And yeah, and what I've done is just so that I can fit my other CDs in. I'll put up a video in a bit that just shows how I made these covers. But I've made basically like slip covers for, Firepower, Jugulator, Demolition, Invincible Shield, a Redeemer of Souls. Essentially all the ones that wouldn't fit, that weren't in this box that should have been. The main idea for this really was Demolition and Jugulator, because those are albums that, for some reason, when they released this box set, they completely ignored those two albums. And I've said before, you can't ignore a part of your history and have like a box set called the Complete Album Collection and not have two of the albums that were there. Admit it, are they the greatest Judas Priest albums? Hell no. The Ripper Owens years were an anomaly. And I understand the logic behind it, but it's the same as, like, if Iron Maiden were to release, like, a career box set and not include, the X Factor and Virtual 11. They are albums which brought them to where they are now. So without them, you're ignoring a huge chunk of your history that shouldn't be forgotten. So I'm glad to have this in the box now. Like I said, making another video I'll put up after showing how I made these. They're fun little, fun little things. You just need some tape and some, like a printer and some cardstock and everything. It's quite simple. But yeah, so that was my update. I've not a huge one this month, but some quality stuff. So yeah, that's it for me. See you next time.